Okay, I record. So sit comfortably and look for your axis coming from the sky to the crown and down the body, around the perineum, all the way down to the floor. So again, search for this axis to make your posture comfortable, very easy. And I'll say a few words now. Last week, we introduced the idea of dividing the sphere of awareness around us. You can consider it as a big sphere, three-dimensional sphere. And we divide it into in three ways. First is to divide the sphere into a right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Okay? These are hemispheres of attention, which means our attention now will be on our right hemisphere. But we are attentive to everything which is on the right side. Okay? And then we pay attention to the left hemisphere, everything on our left. So our attention will be watching the left side. This is one way of dividing the sphere. The second way of dividing the sphere into two hemispheres is dividing the sphere into a front hemisphere and a back hemisphere. Usually in life, we use part of the front hemisphere, because if I pay attention to the screen in front of me, I don't even use the whole hemisphere, only a certain part of it. My attention goes here. But we try to be aware to everything in front of us. This is the front hemisphere. Front of us in all directions. Okay? And then we pay attention to the back hemisphere. The hemisphere which is back of us. It's as though we look or we sense or we are attentive to everything behind us. So this is a second way of dividing the sphere of awareness. And the third way of dividing the sphere of awareness is to divide it to a bottom or to a lower hemisphere, everything below our navel center, to the front and to the back, to the sides. This is the lower hemisphere. So we pay attention to the lower hemisphere. And the other hemisphere is the upper hemisphere. Everything above our navel center, forward and backwards and sideways, everything upwards is the upper hemisphere. the idea of dividing a sphere of awareness into different hemispheres is because, like everything in life, there are muscles we use more and there are muscles we use less. And the muscles of attention or awareness in our back, on our backside, are not exercised. I mean, we don't use them, we rarely use them, and we use them very rarely in a very limited way. And when we begin to use them a little bit more, it helps the other hemispheres be more attentive. I don't know why, but that's what happens. But you can find it by yourselves. So I'll begin again from the beginning after I explained the idea of hemispheres of attention, 6 hemispheres of attention: right hemisphere, left hemisphere, front hemisphere, back hemisphere, lower hemisphere, and upper hemisphere. Every time we try to be aware using one of these hemispheres, it's as though we practice certain muscles of awareness. Okay? But in the end, there's a sphere. We're a sphere, or what we call a sphere.